to the kitchen. And it's the weekend. We made it. We made it through the week. Kimmers, thanks for being first as always. Hello to Trekker. We got Bob in here. Hi, Flower. Hello, Bonk. Welcome in. And thanks, Bonk, for your 50-month resub the other day. Sneaking that in. Appreciate you. Hope you had a good work week. Hello, Michael. Hello, Yet It Is. Hello, Bricklane. Hello, Panda's Disco. And yeah, Samo's home, guys. He's home, and he just got home from errands. He had a crazy adventure to a massage this morning. And he went to Costco to grab a duck and some fruit. And he's back. Bricklane says, yo, Kate, guess what? What? And hello, Nightwalker. Guys, I'm feeling good. Ready to get cooking. Things are happening. You're having fun with your dehydrator? What are you making? What are you making? Hello, Happy as well. Okay, so yesterday we had a fun stream for my actual birthday. I turned 33 yesterday, which is heckin' crazy to me. And Samo cooked me some delicious lunch as well as a cheesecake. And I just played Legos, so if you missed that one, that was a fun one. Go check out the VOD for sure. And we like lined up the hallway. I don't know if you guys can see it. Maybe if I turn on the lights. With balloons and stuff from subs and bits and all the raids. So we'll probably keep that going through the weekend because it's really fun. Thanks, Bonk. It was a good day. We just relaxed last night. I talked to my parents. What else? We've been watching The Amazing Race. That's really about it, though. Just been trying to stay rested, right? Because I was like sick during the week. So like I'm finally, I would say, 100% today. So that feels good. Yeah, a happy and healthy 33. So awesome. Hey, you're only as old as you feel, right? We gotta take care of our body. It's our only temple we got. Okay, so Samo cooked for me yesterday. So today we are gonna cook for him. And this is actually a Pots and Pans menu redemption from Sam. So I thought that was just like perfect. He cooked for me yesterday. I'll cook for him today. Everyone's happy. You're 38, but you like to think you're still 18, right?
You didn't redeem shit.
I didn't redeem nothing. I don't think I can redeem it on my own channel. What do you feel, guys? I don't think that's possible as a streamer. No, I saw this video, I think it was on Instagram or something like that, a video where there was like an older lady. This guy's like going down the street doing an interview style show like that. He's like asking the older people like how they feel being old. I think she was 69 or something like that, like close to her 70s. She's like, the only thing I really notice is that like my body breaks down more, but my mind still feels like I'm like in my 20s. I was like, that's so interesting. I think a lot of people live like that though. You made your own beef jerky too, barbecue flavored. I want to keep making jerky again too, guys. I can't wait for summertime. Oh, update on the job interview. It's on hold. That's all I got. I had a job interview and then it got retracted. I was like, what did I say to you, Sam, this morning? I was like, what happened to no takebacks? Yes, she like called me yesterday after stream and just said they are redoing the department, whatever that means, and I'll probably have an interview at a later date. There's things happening. Yeah, there's some things happening that I think are all good, right? Every time this happens, it's like, well, that obviously wasn't the one for me. On to the next one. Okay, so here's the menu for today, guys. And let's say this is gonna be a German style meal. We were learning a little bit at the end of yesterday's stream about what schnitzel should and should not go with. And apparently it shouldn't actually go with spätzle, which is like the egg noodle that we make. So they say either like potato or rice is the most traditional, but typically schnitzel is not served with spätzle. Interesting. So today we are going to make it with Hunter sauce, which is a like brown mushroom sauce, let's say, not a creamy mushroom sauce. Samo said just rice is really good with this, and I would say, yeah, rice is really good with schnitzel sauce. And just like a veggie on the side, which we usually keep it pretty simple, and I think they do in Germany too. Braised cabbage. You can do purple or green. I had that chunk of green cabbage in the fridge. I think it's like 3 weeks old now, but it's still good. So we'll trim it up and we will braise that with some butter and probably like some stock and make it really yummy and tasty. You intern for a German restaurant? What? I think it would be really fun. Sauerkraut. Oh, I was eyeing up the wine sauerkraut the other day. I should have bought it. One of your teapots says, I'm not old, I'm out of warranty. That's right. Yeah. We have extended warranty, but even that is limited and it runs out, unfortunately. Your head chef was German. That's so cool. I've never really worked with any German, like, chefs, per se, other than Sam, I think. Very nice, Bricklane. So yeah, that's what's going down today. I think it won't take us very long to make all this stuff. Lots of, like, stovetop cookery, but the only thing that we are gonna switch up, I did link a really good recipe I found for this, though, is the schnitzel is gonna be baked in the oven. Magical. And this is actually how Sam's family does it, so I thought I would show you guys that too, because it's so easy. And then you don't have to mess around with, like, putting a deep fryer setup on the stovetop, right? Some people can argue that it is, like, more healthy doing it in the oven, but I don't think so. I don't think so. With the amount of butter that we end up putting on there, it's just the same. It's just the same. Samo is German, so Sam's mom is German, and he was born in Germany and lived there until you were 3 years old? 4 years old. And then they moved to Canada. Bricklane says, Guten Morgen, Samo.
Morning.
Okay, I'll make a little prep list up and away we go. And I'm just actually gonna put some of this fruit in the fridge real quick. We are having our friend over for brunch, like after stream though tomorrow.
Yeah, I'll tell him.
Like at the end of stream, we're gonna have our friend over and we're gonna watch the Formula 1 race together because he is like one of our friends that lives here and also is into F1. A friend from work, actually. Hi, Mickey. How are you doing? And thank you very much, dude. 40 months already, hey?
What color balloon?
Yeah, what color balloon? We're blowing up balloons today. We're filling up the hallway all weekend. From subbies, bits, and follows, and all that goodness. Can I even fit this? Guys, the fridge has never been fuller. I'm not making dessert today. I was gonna make dessert.
What dessert?
I was gonna make the cookies, but we honestly can't.
Oh, we're good.
We got cheesecake, we got muffins. We're just
we're
up to
good.
here with the
You
desserts.
need to get some for Thomas.
Okay, Mickey needs a pink balloon. Any chance we'll be heading to Singapore for F1 this year? I don't know. If I get a job, things will drastically change. If I don't get a job, we can't do as much traveling as we wanted.
If Caitlin gets a job, things drastically change.
Pink for Mickey. I'll do 2 small ones. I don't have a big one. Everyone needs to see you. He's actually kind of effed up right now. His, Okay, while I blow these, I'll tell you about Sam's massage adventure that he had this morning by himself. So you just got benefits back, right? With having work, And one of those benefits is having money for massages. So he went for free. Went to this like person that he's gone to before. It's like a sports massage therapist that also does cupping. So he went for an hour and a half. But like, at what point in the massage did all this interruption start? Hello. At what point in the massage did the interruption start?
20 minutes.
So like 20 minutes into the massage, I guess his masseuse was just like listens to an audiobook while he massages people instead of the music the whole day, which is fair. Sam like hears this commotion out in the reception area, right? Whoa. This is crazy. I thought there was like a hole in the balloon, but there's not. And there ends up being this drunk man that's like kind of berating the receptionist, and they end up having to call the cops this morning and all that during his massage. It was like, oh my goodness, what an adventure. Never had that one happen yet. So yeah, he just got home. He's kind of effed up, but I'm sure he'll get up in a couple moments. Just lovely, right? He's like, you can't even go get a massage anywhere and like having a relaxing experience, right? So I'm going there next Wednesday to get one. Let's see if the same thing happens. Dun, 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 dun. Cops will massage the dude with a baton. Yeah, it was just the whole thing, I guess. That shouldn't have happened. But everyone's okay, and that's what matters the most, right? Thank you very much for that, Mickey. Okay, I got the recipes popped up on my side. Let's just make a list of what we're gonna do first, and then we can get cooking. It's been a while since I cooked. Sometimes it feels weird, you know? It's like you're out of practice. But it's kind of like riding a bike, I would say. That's a different kind of impact play. Oh no. Sam just shakes his head. Okay. So, first things first. I think we can pound out the schnitzel first. Oh, also, this is like payback for the neighbors today. We're gonna make such a ruckus with the meat mallet. Because you gotta pound out the pork nice and thin. Payback. So, the schnitzel, let's say. Because there's a couple steps, right? So, we will pound it out. We are using pork shoulder today. And then usually after I pound it out thin, I will season it right away just with some salt and pepper. And then let that sit while you prepare the rest of the meal because it kind of like brines it as it sits together before you bread it. Pound it out on the ceiling, you bet. If only I could, you know I would. The one thing I seen was a massage gun and I was like, yo, that's brilliant.
That's what.
Use a pan, it's better for the, like, pounding it out. I guess it depends on whatever you're comfortable with. I really like the mallet we have, it works good. Okay, so pound out the pork pieces, we'll season it up, and then for the breading station, you need 3 parts, always. You need 1 container with flour. Look, it's him.
Hi.
Look how good looking he is. That's my German. Okay, so we need a flour container first that it gets dipped in. And then you go into an egg wash container so that the next one, breadcrumbs, can stick onto it. Cast iron pan for the added noise. Let's do it. We're doing it on the ceiling.
Okay.
Pound the schnitzel out.
I'm just
Tell him what's what.
it's textured though.
Oh, I'm gonna make a mess. The ceiling just starts to fall down. Okay, let's not do that then, maybe. Okay, so one note on our schnitzel, which I got pretty excited, is the panko breadcrumbs at the store were gluten-free. So I'm gonna do a mix today because I've been eating a little bit of wheat now in my diet and it's been okay. So I'll mix like regular kind of seasoned breadcrumbs with some panko. That way it's still like more schnitzel rather than katsu, which is an Asian version of a breaded pork cutlet. Blast the radio too. I can't tell you what he almost did the other day.
Why not?
Who called them already?
You can tell him.
They're calling the cops already, guys.
You can tell him.
Scatter, run, hide. You really want to see me in Lithuania, which is famous with not so healthy foods? I mean, I'll eat the not healthy foods, but I'll probably pay for it a bit later. I mean, we all do. No, we're innocent until proven guilty. Okay, that's the schnitzel, guys. So pound it out, season it, get your breading station, and then from there, we'll get Sam in here to show us how to ovenize it. But I'm assuming it goes onto like a metal rack on a sheet pan.
Just do it on the sheet pan.
Just right on the sheet pan. And nubs of butter?
Yeah.
All right. So let's write butter on the list then. And pan it. And then how do we bake it?
325.
325? That's it? Chat, let's do a recipe check. You ordered a HelloFresh for Monday, Mickey? How many meals did you get in your box? TV is in here? That's an accurate statement. You were born guilty. HelloFresh just for 3 of you? What was the meal? I've been thinking about getting one again recently, but so far I've been saving a lot of money just doing my own shopping. Okay, they say 400 Fahrenheit on the recipe I linked for the schnitzel. They say bake for 15 minutes or until golden crisp. The only thing I would worry about is the breadcrumbs getting too crisp. So I guess it depends on your oven and how hot it bakes. We can play it safe and go 375 at first, right? Fahrenheit. Check it after 10 minutes and you can always bump up the temp at the end to get more browning. That way it won't burn. You weren't even born. You were just manufactured from Soviet military surplus. Are you back home now? Hello, Mr. Krabs. How are you doing? Michael, you're calling them? It was you? I knew it. Okay, so to go with our schnitzel, somewhere in these lines, let's do our cabbage kind of next, because that takes a little bit of time to cook the cabbage. The cabbage will probably take the same amount of time to cook as the schnitzel, or even a bit longer. So keep that in mind. It's a really simple one though. You just cut up your cabbage, chop it up into whatever size pieces you want, and then fry it in a little bit of butter first until it's sizzling. And then you can pour in some broth or stock or whatever you have. Even wine is really good. And you just simmer that until it is cooked down. I like it when there's like a little bit of liquid. It's kind of saucy, but not too runny. You tried Takis for the first time and your tongue is blue now. Good luck with that. You're gonna be crazy with all that blue dye you just had. The open night restaurant was good last Friday, a free bar. Mickey got into it. Nice, Kiwi. I wouldn't even want to know what my accountant would say to me, so don't worry. Blood Oak, you love Takis. It helps that the manufacturer of Takis is a big customer of the company you work for. You get a free supply. Okay, one sec, my nose is running. I'm not gonna like blow it. I'm just gonna get the runningness gone. That's insane. Okay, so what is the best flavor of Takis then? You were very merry. I will say, yeah, I brought quite a bit of Takis home from San Diego when we went to TwitchCon last for Samo and I, and yeah, they are like quite spicy and probably not the best to eat a lot of all the time. Kiwi? Oh no. The original Fuego is still the best one. Noted. Noted. Yeah, we haven't had a chippy like that in a long time. Okay, back to this. Schnitzel, cabbage, our hunter sauce, which is a mushroom sauce. And I guess so this whole dish, like the schnitzel with the hunter sauce, is actually called Jägerschnitzel. I was learning before stream. This is why I said there's a lot of stovetop things that will be happening, like the cabbage, the hunter sauce, as well as the rice. So I thought that would be cool to be able to do the schnitzel in the oven. The seasoning room. I love words together like this. The seasoning room at Barcells. You can't go in there without a respirator. Imagine. Imagine the blue seasoning room. And that's a good way to describe it for Mickey. Takis are a rolled up circular tortilla chip that's coated with a spicy sour seasoning. Good one. Okay, let's get into the schnitzel first, and then we'll see where we end up.
Thomas is officially the environmental supervisor.
Nice.
He's actually gonna have a team.
Nice. Good work. Oh, and I have also good news, guys. Samo got a raise today already. It was great news. It was like, already? That's crazy. So, good company. Great company, we could even say. He's moving on up in the world. Okay, this is our pork. Look how dark it is. It almost looks like beef. We chose the dark side of the pork shoulder. Why? Because that's like the most flavor, I would say. So we gotta pound all that out. I don't know if I'll make all of it into schnitzel. Maybe I'll keep this container. And we'll just take out what we want. So we need a big cutting board, our meat mallet, and then another Ziploc bag like this, and I'll show you what to do with it. 3-something euro for a small bag of Takis. I mean, if you're getting them in Europe, they're going pretty far away to get there, right? That kind of makes sense. Okay, where's my mallet over here hanging? Give this. Time to cause a ruckus. They use citric acid, so that's why it's so heckin' sour. I know, like, citric acid, my grandma would use it in sauerkraut and stuff, pretty sure. Just like a little bit for that sourness. Okay, what do I want to do here? I think we'll just keep this, like, meat in the sink beside me so we don't make a mess on the cutting board. So then the next thing first, get some scissors. If you don't have scissors, just use a knife. And we are going to open this up, and we're just gonna cut and open the bag along each side. And this is gonna make a barrier for the meat mallet touching the meat. Because I find when it touches the meat, it kind of tears it up a bit. So doing this just keeps everything more clean. Cheetos are banned in Germany? What? I didn't know that. I will say, the cheesies that we've been like really liking eating, the Hawkins brand that we also have like sent to some of you, those don't taste the same anymore, guys. There's like this gassy sort of like off flavor when we eat them now. I don't even know what to say. And like when I was eating them, the whole top of my mouth like got swollen and was stinging for like an hour after. I was like, I've never had that happen before. So that was weird. Warheads are coated in citric acid, if that tells you how strong it is. Oh yeah. Oh, warheads are so good though. Okay, so we're gonna take our pork pieces. We have like just a bunch of random kind of pieces. I might like trim them up a bit though as we're going through. Because I don't like when there's too much like stringy and connective pieces in schnitzel. So just watch for that. I'm gonna cover this. We'll go so we can actually see it. We need a little bit more light. Maybe. Maybe. And so there are actually two sides to a meat mallet. As you can see, one is like way more aggressive, and that's what we start with. And then this one we use at the end to kind of like smooth everything out. And then the way that we use it, we don't just like pound hard down straight. You actually can like push away and pull towards yourself the meat. And we want to go to like at least 1/2 inch thick or thinner if you can get it, like 1/3 inch to 1/4 inch. Because it's also gonna shrink a little bit as you cook it. Is it really loud, guys? Should I turn it down a bit? I don't like when the board hits the one underneath. You know what? I'm gonna just put a little towel underneath as a barrier. Oh yeah, and we didn't really talk about the meat that we're using, but I've seen a lot of schnitzel recipes that use like just pork loin or pork tenderloin even. And those cuts of pork are really lean. Like no fatty at all. And I find they really dry out. So we always like to use pork shoulder because it's really nice and fatty. And like that dark meat has really good flavor. And just a bit more forgiving, honestly. And like a lot of people know that, well, when you have pork shoulder, you have to cook it for a long time. But something about turning it into schnitzel, or even if you've ever had a pork shoulder steak, it's actually tender enough to just eat like that. Which is so like weird. To me, it still doesn't make sense in my mind. But I will accept it. Just this middle part here is really thick. Sometimes you won't get it really much thinner. But it is important to keep it as even as possible on the thickness. So like if you see there's a thicker part, don't just like pound out these ones really thin, right? Because when you go to cook it, that's gonna get dry where it's really thin by the time the thicker part is actually cooked. That's looking pretty good. So I'll just show you how the meat looks even. Like it gets those little dimples in it from that side. But then if you don't want those dimples, just flip it over after. And just spank it nice and smooth. Boom. The dimples help the breading stick as well, Samo says. Okay, so let's transfer this. We'll just put it onto a sheet pan after it's pounded because the next step is seasoning before we bread it. And then just careful as you pick it up, right? Maybe the one reason people use pork loin rather than shoulder is because the loin is in like a really perfect piece of meat. Whereas I find the shoulder pieces don't look as perfect, right? They're kind of weird shaped. But I'd rather have the better flavor than something that looks perfect, right? You suck at portioning, so each Ziploc bag has different amount of meat now? There's only one way to get better, is practicing. Mary says spank it. You got it, Mary. This chunk was really thick, so let's see how we do. We'll go to this meaty side first. Like, this is so dark, it looks like beef. But this is actually pork. I also saw some recipes while I was looking for this oven one that they made chicken schnitzel. I guess is really good too, because like chicken parmesan's delicious. So yeah, if you don't eat pork, you could make it out of chicken. You need a scale? Scales are quite handy. Actually, the latest short that I just posted on YouTube, I used a scale to make my waffles in it. Hi Scoops, how are you doing today? Happy weekend, guys. We made it. There we go. It feels nice too when you're like pounding the meat like this. You got some frustrations. I'm feeling calmer already. Little gentler on those outside bits, and then we can smooth it on the other side. It's finally nice there. Same here. It feels lovely. And thank you very much, Scooter. You've got an annoying cough, Mickey. You're fed up with it. That's how I felt too. When my nose was getting runny. I was like, what the heck is this for? I didn't sign up for that. Boom. Look at that chunk. It's gonna like spread out a lot though, so I think I'm gonna turn it that way. So many little bitlies. Yeah, and it's a good arm workout. That is true, yeah. I will say, like, if you cook a lot at home, I think you will be a healthier person. Because just the exercise that you get from, like, standing and grabbing all the things that you need, stuff like that. That was my water container, just fell off the counter. It's good exercise cooking at home. It's healthy for you. I stood for pastries. Hello. What type of pastry is it today? How have you been, dude? We're playing with the meats right now. Watch out. This one pounded out really good. This is gonna be like the most epic piece. So far, this one is the best one. Everything is so even. We're beating our meat on stream, folks. It doesn't happen often. Yeah. I think we'll do one more piece and that should be lots. See what I can rummage out of this. Okay, this one I'm gonna like trim off of it. because those stringy bits are heckin' weird. And then this is gonna like pound out into a really weird piece, so don't use that. Just gonna fry that up during the week, probably like a pork stir fry or something quick, pork fried rice. You're completely out of the hospitality industry. You decided to move into early childhood, so you work with kids 3 months and up to 6. That would be fun. Are you loving it? TOS. I think it's good to make a switch like that, especially if you're not feeling like happy with what you're doing. Go try something else for a bit. You never know, right? I've done it how many times? Still not at my final form. This corner piece does not want to move. Same with this one. It's like rock hard. Be right back. You got it, Scoops. I'll be here. There we go. Like, I could do that all day because it would be fun, but I couldn't imagine, like, your arms and your wrist and stuff going at home after a day of doing that. Probably pretty rough on the joints and such. Okay, that's good, though. Got all of our pieces. Not too much of a ruckus. Like, we let them know who's boss, but they didn't have to call the cops. Just gonna rinse this stuff off, do a little cleanup real quick. That's so cool, yeah, like developing that trust with the younger kids. That's why I like to just be a mentor as well. Howdy, you man. Sometimes the hard jobs are like the most rewarding, right? Samo, what would you like with this duck? Are you gonna butcher it? Why?
You are the butcher.
Guys, he can't butcher the duck.
As well as you can.
What? Why not?
You see that little finger skills?
What? These are gonna be some thick schnitzels, but I'm into it.
Like, I butchered duck, it's not butchered.
Really? Oh. He's just being honest, guys, and that's what we appreciate the most. Okay. That literally looks like beef if people didn't know it was pork. Salt and pepper, my people. We're keeping it simple. I am using some seasoned Italian breadcrumbs as well with the panko, so we'll get a bit of flavor in there. But you have to think we're pairing this with a sauce, right? A mushroom sauce, so don't go too crazy with the seasonings on the pork. I always find like the best schnitzel, you can taste the flavor of the pork and it's like really nice and buttery. Not dry. The fat's crispy. Those are all the things that we look for. Like, I don't care, let's say, as much about the thickness of schnitzel rather than how properly and well it's been cooked. Because you can have a really nice thin schnitzel, but what if you overcook it? Then it's dry, right? We'd be sad. Seeing this piece right there, there's a little bit of like sinew. So we'll keep that in mind when we're eating. It'll be a bit more chewy for sure. Probably give that piece to Sambo because he likes more kind of chewy meats like that. Pepper it up. And then I like to just leave these out of the fridge once it's seasoned, while we prepare the rest of the meal. That way it's kind of warming up to room temp, and you'll get a really nice even cook in the oven on it, because we're not doing it in a frying pan. I don't know how much schnitzel costs, like, to eat out now, but it's probably pretty expensive. It's not something that we can get too readily here. There's a couple German places, that's about it though. Done and done. Okay, got any salt and pepper remnants there? So our list, pound and season the schnitzel. Next up, which we'll do later, closer to when it's time to cook. We don't want to bread the schnitzel too early, I will say that. Just you risk it kind of going soggy the longer it sits not cooked with the breading on. So I usually like to bread it right before I plan to cook it. So next, let's get into chopping up our cabbage and prepping it for the braise. And then after that, we'll get into our mushroom sauce. This is a really good, like, home style meal, I would say. If you've been craving something like that. Okay, this is our 3-week-old cabbage that we're gonna trim up and use the rest of it today. But even that, like, look at, okay, these pieces, if I just show you that, oh, look, that's a cabbage. For this to be used multiple times over the last 3 weeks and it's just finally going weird, I honestly can't even complain about that. Because, like, we've bought an onion from the store and the day after we go to use it, it's already rotten. Or yeah, we just got a pineapple the other day from the store, cut into it at home. It's rotten all on the inside, but it looked perfect at the store. I was like, what the heck? It looked like it had froze during transport. But there's no way for you to really tell if vegetables freeze like that until you cut into them most of the time. So all you do when you're trimming up this kind of stuff, same with, like, if you've ever noticed a piece of cheese in the fridge went moldy, I usually trim off about 1/4 inch. And then you're good to go. You want to get fish in a fish tank, Mickey? Whenever people talk about that, it reminds me of my grandpa, my dad's dad. He had a really epic fish tank. And I remember that. It was one of my favorite things to go over to the house and just go watch all the fish in it. It gets a lot of work though. Like, you really have to be committed to that. Okay, I'm just gonna rinse my knife off now that it's all trimmed. Oh, look. It looks perfect now. You used to have tropical fish, so I'm just gonna cut right down through the center of the core. We can take that out. And then, so it's kind of like triangular shape. That's usually how I cut it out. Just make a slit down each side. Like that. And then you can just pick it out with like not too much waste of the actual cabbage. The amount of things that we've made from this $10 cabbage. I would say it's worth the $10. Okay, so from here, I don't really like when cabbage is in long slices and gets stringy. That's weird to me. Oh, that went really dark on that side. Let's do this one. Nope, that's even worse. So let's cut this into... what, like 1-inch thick pieces? Just lay it flat like that. And then we'll cube it from there. This is gonna be so much cabbage still. You guys will see once we start cutting it up. It, like, expands so much. But I guess it is nice when you cook the cabbage. At least it cooks back down, right? Compared to if you just use it fresh. What's everyone else cooking or eating today? I'm gonna cut a little bit weird here because I saw there was some more core. Like, the core is not necessarily bad, just I usually find it's quite bitter. Should I even cook this other chunk? I guess. Cook it all, Samo? We'll throw it in fried rice or something. Just had chicken wings and noodles with curry sauce. Yum. Lasagna. I'd be stoked too. Right now you're making tuna salad? Nice, Trekker. Nom. Hi, Greek. How are you doing? Welcome in. We are chilling today, Greek. We're cooking for Samo. He cooked for us yesterday. That is a mass amount of cabbage. I'm not even making this up. I'm gonna need the biggest pot I have just to cook that. Let me just grab a bench scraper. It'll be easier to pick up. Cabbage for life. You're chilling, dog sitting at a crazy house? That sounds fun. That sounds like my kind of place. It's overlooking the water, dude. Yeah, crazy house and dog sitting, like, count me in. Right up my alley. Gotta love those West Coast houses that are overlooking the water, yep. Cabbage, complete. As far as the chopping goes. I can't stop eating it. It's really nice and sweet. Like crunchy and juicy. Yeah. Is it the dogs that are crazy, or is it the house that is crazy? Is it things in the house that are crazy? We have questions. Okay, reading this recipe through actually first. They say gently cooking chopped cabbage in a bit of butter and salt creates a tender, richly flavored side dish. It's an excellent option to serve with roasted meats of all kinds. Plus, braising cabbage is simple. It is. I love reading through these articles.
Yeah.
Okay, so they use 1 small head of cabbage, butter, salt, and just water, but I'm gonna use duck stock. So you just need a little bit of butter cubed up then, and like you could put any other flavors you want. I think I'll put a little bit of dried thyme just for some yummy herby flavor to go with it. That's pretty much it though. Wine is always good, like I said. And then some people also like their braised cabbage sometimes a little bit acidic, like with some apple cider vinegar. Usually that's more the purple style of cabbage, but you can do it with green too, why not? Okay, we got answers. The house is amazing, the owners are super amazing, so it must be the dogs that are crazy then. But I thought you were going to. Might be some pork lard on the pork schnitzel instead of like half and half with butter. We need more butter. No, we'll just grab it when we get the flour later. How about that? Nice work. Hey, Jesse. What am I currently making? I am making this. Right now, we are working on the braised cabbage. Getting all the ingredients together. But that is the whole menu for the day. Probably like this. To start with the cabbage, I'm gonna do a mix of butter as well as olive oil because I really like the taste of olive oil with braised cabbage too, or just cabbage in general. And then while we have the butter out, let's slice the pieces that we'll need for the schnitzel. We want it like kind of thin, right? Cover a lot of surface area. And it'll melt quick. You want a crispy schnitzel, not a soggy schnitzel. Mary, I inspired you to find a brisket in the freezer. Oops, 2 racks of baby ribs and a pork butt. Whoops. Let's just say Todd's gonna be happy.
Oops.
Oopsies. Don't know how that happened. I'm just like slicing a bunch of butter. We'll probably end up with more than we need, but that's always a good option. The worst is not having enough. Let's see where we end up with that. Please, Vince. Greek, you talking about the dog that you're dog sitting being a little tough to work with just brings me back to my one husky adventure. And I'll never look after a husky ever again. Nope. Me and Jasper,
Oh man.
we need to rebuild our relationship.
He's like 8 years old now.
That's crazy, actually. The shun is awesome, hey Greek? Way better than a butter knife. I just need hot water so I can actually wash the butter off of the knife. That's the issue. What did the husky do? Oh, I was waiting for someone to ask. Mary would be asking. Okay, so our friend's dog, was he even 6 months old then? He was a puppy still. Our friend's husky was a puppy still. And this is when we worked in a place called Jasper, where we were just there a bit ago on stream with you guys at a like lodge, let's say. So Sam and I cooked there, and then our friend was the general manager of the lodge. And so I actually ended up having the day off for whatever reason, I don't know. But the boys were working. And so my friend Lyndon's like, well, you could just like watch Jasper if you wanted to, but like be aware that he's kind of an asshole. And like he told me straight up. And that's the exact words that he used.
Straight up.
He's an asshole. I was like, I've had lots of dogs before. Like I should be fine, right? Like we'll have lots of fun together. My God. My God. It's because he didn't know me from before, right? At all. So like just trying to assert dominance over me the whole time. Just yelling at me for like an hour straight. If I would get like, tell him to sit down or anything, you just go and like put my hand in his mouth. It was just insane to the point where I had to go get Lyndon. And I just locked Jasper in the bedroom. Cause like I thought, hey, we're gonna like hang out, we're gonna cuddle and like have a nice dog day. Nice thinking. So that was my lesson of learning how huskies are as dogs, and I definitely respect every other dog breed I had when I was young. Okay, so I said duck broth going with our cabbage to braise, but I'll just pour that into the pot when the time comes. Let's get into the mushroom sauce. Your girls are awesome though, they love people. They're not good guard dogs though. Mary.
Oh, hello. You got a snack?
Yeah,
I
I'm your friend. Well, yeah, they are part wolf, right? That's just how they are. Just hilarious. But I hope to see Jasper again now that he's older, because I think things would be different. Maybe. Hopefully. Okay. Homemade Jäger sauce, aka German Hunter sauce, aka brown mushroom sauce. They say a delicious, creamy mushroom sauce that goes well with schnitzel, spätzle, meat, and plenty more dishes. Prep time 5 minutes? That's it? Please don't make me stress like that. Cook time 15. How do you get anything done in 5 minutes? That is magical. Okay, so we need mushrooms. If you want, I don't often put this, but you can put whipping cream in it. Do you usually put whipping cream in it, Sam? Yeah. Okay. Beef broth, I'm gonna use the duck broth again. We don't have any beef. Onion, do you want onion or just fried mushroom with garlic sauce? Fried mushroom and garlic sauce, we're leaving the onion out. By all means, you can put it in. It'll add like a little bit of sweetness, right? Herbs if you want, thyme and parsley. Rosemary could be nice, just don't use too much of it. They're gonna use tomato paste, but I'm not gonna put tomato paste in this today. They do season, this is interesting though, with some balsamic vinegar at the end. Interesting. Yes, yeah, good one, Sambo. instead of the balsamic vin, we're gonna go up here. Go to the back. Dig out the Maggi. Old Faithful. Not that much left of it, about a third of the bottle. So we'll use this to season the mushroom sauce with. This also makes a really good salad dressing too that's simple. Is anyone seeing Kate's head in the middle at the bottom? What? Or just me? What do you mean? Okay, I'm gonna get the mushrooms out and we'll slice them up. We'll get some garlic minced. I gotta do some digging in the fridge. Mushrooms. Garlic. Come hither. See how this garlic is even holding up, guys. 3 screens? I don't think anyone else is seeing that. It might be a problem on mobile, Mary. Hi, White Dove. Thank you very much. I hope you're having a good weekend. Okay, these are mushrooms. They're calling them Mini Bella, but they're also known as cremini mushrooms. And I often choose these instead of just white button mushrooms. There's just a bit more flavor. I hate how they pack these though. Like, mushrooms should not be packed in plastic because of how much moisture ends up building up in there. And then it's gonna make the mushrooms go bad. Like, so weird. So that's why they always put like paper bags beside the mushrooms, or like we receive mushrooms for the restaurant in boxes, cardboard. That's very weird, Mary. Okay, this garlic head might not be okay. Hi, Amp. How are you? Okay, so far it looks okay. Some of them are quite shriveled up, though. Probably should have just roasted them all at the same time. Hi, Pal, as well. Good to see you guys. Is that enough garlic? No. Should have seen Sal's face. Love it. And thank you very much, White Dove, for the $20 donation. For my birthday weekend! Two what? 2 balloons, it's true! We need to blow up balloons! Okay, I don't know about this head of garlic. It feels really soggy and weird, so let's open up these. White Dove, what color of balloons do you want? Purple, blue, white, yellow, orange, green. Purples? Okay. Woohoo! 2 balloons for you. My cardiovascular health has never been better. That is probably a lie, though. Because I'm pretty sure when I played soccer when I was in my teens, yeah, that's probably the best my cardio has ever been. But for being the age of 33, never been better. We'll write your name on it. 1. Put it in the pile. We need one more still. What is Balloon Toot? What is a Bortco? What is that? I don't know what that is, so I have to ask. It's filling up back here. Gotta be careful walking. Okay, let's smash all our garlics. And then we'll just mince them, I think, with the garlic press, because that'll be easy. It's from the only scripted show on Twitch, Nurse Huckleberry. Nice, she's still going. That's amazing. It's nice to see someone doing, like, something different than that. Or different like that, sorry. Rather than just the same old same. They're big now? Good. They should be if they put that much effort in, right? 2 channels? Holy shit. I love stories like that. They never gave up. They made something original. Bortco is their parent company. I should check it out like more often when Sam's gone away at work. What days do they typically stream and what times? Two streams and like 50 cameras? Fun. Okay, all of our garlics so far are awesome. I'm happy. Boom. That'll be great. This other garlic head, though, definitely way too soggy. R.I.P. But when you buy a bag for $3 with what, like 20 heads of garlic in it, versus buying a bag with 3 heads of garlic for $1.50. I mean, I know we all hate throwing out food, but it still made more sense. They start at 10 p.m.? Okay, so I'll have to watch the VODs then, because that's literally my bedtime. I'm grabbing some dried thyme while I'm over here as well. 10 p.m.? That's insane. Kudos to them, too. I have, like, no energy by the time 10 p.m. rolls around. I couldn't imagine starting stream at that time. Question Amp says, I have this certified vegan Morena brand cane sugar, and it says it is bone char free. What does that mean? I have no idea. What does it mean? I also have that question. On Nerd Huckleberry, she streams on the off days, about the same time or later. Thanks for all the info, Bonk. Bone char. So they use it for, like, filtering, then. The sugar? And you guys wonder why they don't make the show How It's Made anymore. Do we really want to know? Yeah, charcoal made from animal bones. What the heck? Okay, one more. Nice. Thanks, Bonk. Thanks for posting that for the people in here that didn't know who Nurse was. I mean, if it wasn't for you, Bonk, I wouldn't know who they are either. I'll just use my finger since it's already gross and garlicked. Heck it. We're committed. Okay, rinse that out though, so it doesn't get stuck into the garlic press. I like how you started with a way to reduce waste, but we all know it's probably used to cut costs. How could it be vegan? Because it doesn't have that in it. It's filtered without using that, I guess. Ah! It's 1:11. Okay, we got our garlic and our thyme. Pop that over to the stove. Let's get into our mushies. They are like quite wet looking, I will say that. I often use like a brush to wash mushrooms and just get the extra dirt off. But my God, I'm not even using this one. So lesson learned, when you buy mushrooms at the store and they're in plastic, take them out of the plastic container right away. Because it really gets disgusting. Or at least put like a paper barrier in there. Give me a sec, I need to fix this. We can't go further without fixing it. It's too gross. I'm gonna give these a rinse since they're already gross. And then we're gonna put a cloth in the bottom of that container. Yeah, we can call it dirt, it's true. But mushrooms, if you know about them, they grow in poop. It's grown in manure. You like when I say poop? It's one of my favorite words, actually. Ever since I was young. Okay, move these ones over. We'll probably wash those ones too because I feel gross. So line the container. Take our washed ones now. Get them in a dry space. Yeah, mushrooms are good for us, guys. I know lots of people don't like them, but they are good for us. Okay, now I'll just cover it like that. And that way the moisture has somewhere to escape. But it's not gonna dry out because the towel is covering it still. Okay, I'll put these back and then I'll just grab another towel so that we can dry these ones off after we wash them. Has anyone in here ever grown their own mushrooms? This towel is very holy. Still works though. That would be an interesting one, hey Mary? Have you checked out how many products say genetically modified and what was the modification? Well, that's the thing, is it just says it's genetically modified, but they don't say how or why. Your bro bought some of the mushroom plugs but half-assed it and it never did nothing? Dang. I know someone recently was saying they were looking into getting the like pink oyster mushroom kit. Forget who it was though. I just miss walking around in the forest on the island and being able to pick mushrooms. Take them home and cook them up. That water is so dang cold. I can barely feel my finger. Okay, give these a pat dry now. We'll go over here and kind of mop up the water from where they were sitting. Doot. And we're just gonna slice these for the sauce. But it's hard to like cut wet mushrooms. I'll trim off anything that looks gross. Cause like, look at this. That was even after we washed it. I will say, like, wild mushrooms, not nearly this dirty. But they do have bugs in them, so that's kind of the trade-off. It's like, they're pretty clean, but there could be worms. I guess choose what you want. I'm just gonna cut off the bottom of all the stems where it's really dark brown. And if you don't like the tough stem, you could also just pick it out. If it's looking weird, like this one looks really dark and weird. You just hold the mushroom and just pick it out like that. Might actually do that to all of them. Ugh, the worms in the foraged mushrooms are seriously... That could turn somebody off of mushrooms. Like, I definitely understand why Zach just picked the mushrooms and didn't ever clean them. Because he said if he cleaned them, then he wouldn't eat them. So he just always brought them to me to clean. Yeah, get the black laid out. Ooh, if you bit into a worm when you ate grapes. Gross. So now you're ruined. I think I've been like pretty close to biting into a worm in an apple before. Just right off the tree or something like that. I don't think I've actually ever bitten into an insect. Ah. Okay, so I'm gonna try to cut these around 1/4 inch thick. Because they'll cook down a bit, right, in the sauce. Mushrooms usually shrink when you cook them. But I like the slices in a sauce rather than keeping it chunky. Maybe more just a texture thing, I don't know. See, they get slippy when you wash them, so that's why I cut really carefully. Always with the claw, so you don't risk getting your fingy. Yeah, right? Like when we were a kid, we didn't look for wormholes in the fruit, we just ate it. There's a recall for Sargento in 15 US states because of listeria. Again? Because, like, I just had a recall for cheese with listeria last month from Taylor Farms. I bought a salad pack from Costco here. It was the Mexican street corn salad. And that was the recall on it, was listeria. What is happening? Gross. That one is pretty bad, I will say. Listeria, don't mess with that one. Okay, we're just gonna put the mushrooms into a container. Yeah, always use your senses when you eat. Usually we go with our eyes first, right? Because that's the safest. And then we can go with touch. And then usually smell and then taste last. Okay, mushies complete. So we need duck broth for the cabbage, duck broth for the mushroom sauce. Oh, Mary. My water situation is not good. But we want to make it better. Probably next month we can. We actually just drink tap water. I hate it so much though. One thing I do want to do is like get a under the sink water filter, and what Sam's gonna do so we can like buy the proper one is they have like a full water testing system up at work where he works, because they take water straight from the lake, right? And that is the drinking water. So he's gonna take our city water that we drink from the tap and see what it is composed of, so that we can buy the proper filter that we need for the quality of water that we have here. Mary, I just drink tap water. There's one thing that changed your cooking. I taught you not to wash your mushrooms. Ugh, as I just washed my mushrooms today. But yeah, for the most part, time okay. Not washing your mushrooms, they'll just cook up nicer, I find, because you're not putting that extra moisture into them. Okay, let me just read through that sauce recipe one more time. Okay, we just need a little bit of thickening agent for it, which we're gonna use cornstarch. Okay, now you're back, Mary. I was saying I just used tap water here at home, but Sam's gonna bring up our water to work to get it tested to see what kind of filter we need to install under the sink. Okay, let's grab our cornstarch and a container so that we can mix up our little slurry to thicken the sauce at the end. I think we can get it like cooking pretty soon here. We're doing awesome. That works too, Bonk, yeah. Give him a good rinse, but then let him air dry after. I've also bought mushrooms from this store that like were so clean that I didn't even really have to wash them at all, right? So it depends on how they look. Let's go with this amount of cornstarch, maybe like a half more of that. Maybe a couple tablespoons, and then we just mix this with cold water. Just enough to really stir it into a liquid. I go really small amount of water at a time. And then we just put that into the saucepan at the end when it's simmering, and this will give us that like perfect thickness where it coats the spoon and everything that you're eating the sauce with. Okay, that looks good. I usually leave the cornstarch near the sauce area though, just in case we do need some more. Oh ho ho! Aw, yeah. Thanks, MZZV, for the Prime Gaming sub. 4 months in a row, my friend. You got a balloon blown up today. What color do you want? We got, what, gray, purple, orange, yellow, turquoise, white, blue. Lots of different colors still. Don't know if they do this in Canada and America. Water utilities are required to publish what they found in the water supply and also where they get it from. Might want to check if the water utility has such a report. So that's interesting because like our utilities, all of our water is included in our rent. So like we don't get a utility report every month. I would have to ask the building manager, I guess. What? Turquoise? Okay, you got it. That's for you. You have well water, it's really soft. So yeah, our city water is really, really hard water where it like puts white film all over everything. I have been to that market time, okay? That was such a good farmer's market in San Diego. We even streamed from it actually. You can probably watch it on YouTube. I almost died that time too. I like tripped, scraped my knee on the sidewalk. That was a big one. The hallway is filling up. I'm loving it. I'm a pretty minimalist person, but something about balloons gets me going. M, Z, Z, V. It sounded like a hot air balloon. That's how professional I'm getting. Trekker, you don't get a water report once a year anymore? Palooza, your iron or your water has so much iron it's probably magnetic. Okay, let's just put it this way. I'll say this. I have to keep this container of water on the counter so it can dechlorinate so that I can properly feed my sourdough starter so that the water from the tap doesn't kill the natural yeast. Let's just put it that way. Okay, hunter sauce. Basically everything complete. The last thing that we kind of have to prepare. Let's get our rice into the pot and ready to go. And then we will come back over here and make our breading station for the schnitzel. Then we can get cooking. Easy mode. Blowing up hot water bottles. Sam was joking, he's like, should I get the air compressor out for this weekend? For all the balloons? Is this just a normal, regular, but birthday stream? Well, the birthday stream was actually yesterday, when Sam cooked me my lunch. This is just kind of hanging out. I just need some water, guys. Okay. Rice. Woohoo! While I'm over here, I'll bring the box of breadcrumbs over. You missed Sam cooking? Just go and watch the VOD. It's not a super duper long one. Our gluten-free panko crumbs. Very exciting. You could do a cook with Sam redemption. Okay, how much rice do I want to cook for us? Maybe a couple cups. Cup and a half. I was thinking about how much rice I want to make. We'll do a cup and a half of rice kernels. And then it will have to be 3 cups of water. They were cooking in the hotel in Norway? Yes. That's awesome you caught that, Paloozer. You have pork, rind crumbs, Italian, ranch, and plain? Pork rind crumbs on pork schnitzel. Imagine that, you guys. Okay, just put that over to the stovetop and we need a lid. Where's my little lid? In here. Bam. Okay, breading station. We got this to start. I think instead of doing the flour, we'll keep it all gluten-free, that part. And we'll do some more cornstarch. But then I was thinking about using some regular breadcrumbs to mix in with the panko. Where the heck did I put them, guys? They were in the freezer this morning. But I was like moving stuff around. Oh, they're there. That's why you don't move stuff around. Okay, so we have Italian seasoned breadcrumbs, gluten-free panko crumbs, cornstarch, and we need an egg wash. Pork rind crumbs. I don't think that exists in Canada. And that sounds so good. Is it just pork skin or there's other stuff like actual breadcrumbs too? Dolly Parton fudge brownies later? So this gluten-free panko crumbs is made from rice flour. It's just made from pork even. We might need someone to send that to us, hey? Okay, how do I want to do this? So you need a big enough container, depending on what size your schnitzel is. I think I'm just gonna do 3 bowls. And this will dip into a bowl easily. Pie pans work good too if you have a bunch of those. Those are 3 bowls. Yes, please, put a pic. Okay, so first things first, the first layer on the pork, and that's probably enough to start, we can always add more, is just cornstarch, and that helps the egg wash stick onto it. That there for now. Next one, we will do a mixture of breadcrumbs. You can see there's some herbs in these seasoned ones. So that's why we kept the actual seasoning on the meat, simple, just salt and pepper. I think we'll do a half and half style mix of crumb. Hello, Sheriff Shutter. I just want to see like actually how thick or coarse this panko is. Not bad. Might actually do more of this other one. Just gonna leave the container open. Nice. Okay. That looks like a good mix. Only thing I worry about when you do a mix of crumbs like this is if you don't have a proper mixture, you'll just dip it and it'll only be the panko that sticks on, right? And you won't get any of the fine stuff. Okay, our eggs now, let's start with 2 eggs, and then we'll just pour a little bit of either milk or water in with it. Okay, I'm checking this out really quick, Mary, before we go further. What? Pork King Good. Ranch seasoned pork rind crumbs. That looks so good. I know Samo would fox with that hard. Adriana hates it. Who the heck is Adriana? Do I know this person? And yeah, I saw that TwitchCon is back in San Diego. I probably won't go to the American one since I've already been to that location twice. I'd rather go somewhere new, you know? Grab a whisk. Amp. Out of that ingredient list, oleo resin of paprika. Excuse me? Oleo resin? What is that? Oh, Adriana was that girl that she got a really bad injury, yeah, at the last TwitchCon. Mary, you used the crumbs on fried chicken. It was pretty good. I can imagine. Did it crisp up nice? Did you find? So we really mix our eggs good before we add any liquid. The milk is all the way in like the back of the fridge behind so much cheesecake and stuff, so I'm just actually gonna pour some cream in. Heck it, we're going bougie. Michael's lurking while he's working, and we appreciate him for that. It made it so crunchy, the pork rind crumbs. Okay, we'll go a little bit more cream. I might put some water too, just to dilute the richness. Paprika oleo resin, oil soluble extract. So it's a paprika oil instead of dried, let's say. So the egg wash should be able to stick to the meat, right, when we're breading it, but not be super duper thick, that it makes a weird soggy layer. That should be a-okay for our chunks. All right, now we'll build like a breading station, let's say. I usually try to imagine an assembly line. They always start with your first one and then go 1, 2, 3 down the line onto the sheet pan that it's gonna be baked on. So here's our pork first off that we pounded out and seasoned earlier. So we'll get that all coated with the cornstarch, and then it goes into the egg and then the crumbs after that. They extract the solids with the solvent and put them in the carrier oil. That is so much processing for something like so simple, if you think about it. What? Okay, I got that trio in front of me, so I can take the pork, go like this, and I'm just gonna prepare the sheet pan that it's gonna be baked on. We wanna get it lined. I'll probably do just foil parchment lining. You had 2 porky chops for dinner yesterday, were they good? Pork choppos. I'm excited to eat this today. I'm ready. Sam was having a pre-lunch nap, it looks. He got beat up this morning. Has anyone in here ever gone for like a cupping massage? You know what that is? I'm going on Wednesday and that'll be like my first time experiencing that. You almost bought the barbecue pork rinds? $30 for 2 bags though? That's nuts. They were almost fork chops, were super tender. Oh, that sounds so good. Okay, let me get our paper. Onto the brand new roll of parchment. It tears so nice. Your brain kicked in. I like that, Mary. Okay. Our prepared baking pan. Beautiful. All right, whenever we're breading stuff, we usually try to keep one hand clean, let's say, and one hand kind of dirty with the wet ingredients. So you decide what hands are gonna work for you for that. I think I usually grab the meat with my right hand, like my non-dominant hand, and like have this hand kind of clean to press on this stuff. I guess we'll see. $20 cupping for 15 minutes? That's not a bad price. Okay, what one do I want to start with? This one, I think. You just take that. Get both sides dipped in evenly. Always give it a shake. I find cornstarch can kind of really cake on like that. Okay, so now we're coated. It feels so weird. I can barely hold it. It's like squeaking in my hands, you know, cornstarch. I might not be able to do this. Okay, next. So this hand is gross now in the egg. Get it all coated. Drain off all the egg, or as much as you can. One good dunk in there, and usually I press it right away into the crumbs before I flip it over. Okay, now gently pick it up. So this is where your messy hand can kind of come in, right? Because we want this to be completely coated. Both sides, even this like stringy piece in the middle. I'm just gonna press on a bunch of stuff there because it's gonna get really crispy and good. Okay, that looks good. And then if I kind of like reform this back together, you'll see how it gets fried in the oven. And these get flipped during the cooking process in the oven. That's what Sam's family does. So keep that in mind, because I don't know if the recipe I linked does that. Okay, next one we're gonna do another big chunk. Shake it off. I still like can't get over the color of the pork meat, how dark it is. So I'll probably top up this breadcrumb bowl after this piece is done. Okay, that looks good. Sometimes I give it like a swirl too. I can smell the Italian breadcrumbs. It smells good. Like the smell of the herbs is coming out. Maybe this is why schnitzel is expensive to get from a restaurant, is because like you really have to be sure of how you bread it and stuff, right? What's this? Get that coated. Right? It's so messy. Like, ugh. This always brings me back to like the amount of things I've breaded in a restaurant. So many things. Too many. Almost. But it's so worth it, it's true. Okay. This is why I kept everything open, and this is still like a clean hand, right? I got two pretty good sized pieces still. Let's go with that. And that little bit more cornstarch. And then once these are done, we can finally start cooking everything. Lots of prep. Not too long of cooking time though, I would say. Okay, ready? Press, 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 press. $21 for a pack of 2 of those pork rind crumbs. But you guys say it's worth it. You say it's worth the money. You always gotta try something once. Okay. Shake it off. Look at that one. Ooh. Sometimes your fingies get sticky, right? Don't let it take that breading off. Okay, last piece. I think we should be good with that amount of crumbs that we have in there. It's a big piece, but we'll make sure that we use all of it up. Yeah, right, Mary? Just to try it. Just to try it once. Can take this out finally. This craziness. This literally looks like beef still. It's so dark. Okay, and then you notice how I like kind of keep adding to the bowls as I see they get lower, and that's just because I don't like to waste this stuff. Like once it's touched the raw meat, right, you can't really just put it back in the container, you'll get sick. So I try to really minimize how much of the breading station you end up like throwing in the garbage. Because a lot of times you will portion out way more than you need. And that's just something I think I've learned over the years. In restaurants, I would say it doesn't matter as much because a lot of times you're like breading something every day, so you can keep the same breading station for 2 days. Pack everything up if there's extra. But at home, you're often not, right? Kind of spread these out for when we drop the piece in, maybe just a little bit more of a base. Okay. I think this piece is the money piece out of all of them that we breaded. I don't know, this one looks so good. A little more on these pieces. And then, time to get that oven on. A little more down here too still. Because like if it's gonna go in the garbage, you might as well get that schnitzel perfectly coated. Nice. Okay, and then also we can say it's important to not overcrowd the pan if you're gonna be baking the schnitzel. So see how there's a little bit of space in between everything on there? And then now that I have some extra crummies, I'm gonna like fill in some of these spots. Where there was those scraggly bits. Okay, so that's not bad for breadcrumbs to toss out, and usually I like put my hands together to get the stickiness off. Let's just lift this off. Might be messy. Hey, Ninja Man! Okay, the cornstarch a little bit. Gone. And then the eggs, I don't put in the garbage, because that's gross. Last time Ninja was here was back in December. Good looking, Bonk. Okay, let me just rinse off some of this stuff, wash my hands, and it's cooking time. Not like too messy of a meal so far. Not too many dishes at all. So we'll get the oven on and then we'll start making the mushroom sauce first. That way the sauce can be simmering on the side while we cook the cabbage and the rice as well. Because usually I find if you're finished a sauce early, it stays good and hot on the stove top while you finish everything else. Okay, so oven. I'm gonna do 375 Fahrenheit for that. Made the roasted cauliflower and pork tenderloin from a couple weeks back. Oh, nice! With the homemade honey garlic sauce and stuff. That was actually such a good meal. I kind of just came up with that one on my own, actually. It always makes me really excited when you guys make those things that we've done on stream before. I mean, that is why I do these streams, is to help inspire you guys to eat better at home. Okay, so extra breadcrumbs I always keep in the freezer. I don't use breadcrumbs often. So for this, I guess we can finish these off right now. Get them prepped for the oven. We sliced a bunch of butter earlier into nice thin pieces. We're just gonna lay it over the schnitzel. And it's gonna melt in the oven and help it crisp up, and then these just get flipped halfway through cooking. Do we need to use this other nub? Or can I use it in the mushroom sauce, I think? Nice, Amp. Thank you for doing the conversion. Boom. Because the pork's already been seasoned, guys. They don't really need any other seasoning. Okay, so we're going over there. Let me just wipe off this board a sec. Probably get the pot on for the mushroom sauce though. Let the butter start heating up. You're inspired. Enjoy the new cooking ideas. You've used lots of them that you've seen here. Sweet. That is what I like to hear. Okay, that's more like it for the butter that's needed for the mushroom sauce. Whoa, wait. I just realized this camera is not actually connected? Hello. What is happening right now? Give me one sec, guys. I was like, well, that's not showing a pot on the stovetop. It was good. Are we back now? Hi, hello. My favorite. Okay, so that's just on medium heat right now, melting the butter. And then we will fry our mushrooms, garlic, some dried thyme. We'll get out our duck broth, which has a nice deep color to it. And then Samo said for seasoning at the end, we're gonna use magi instead of like a beef broth or anything like that. Okay, now I'm gonna wipe the board. Judo! Hi, Judo. How are you? Welcome in. Blessed with your presence on this Saturday. There's really cornstarch everywhere. It's almost impossible to not get it everywhere. Once the butter's melted, we'll pop the mushrooms in there. Things are good. We're living. We're living life, surviving. And you? What am I using instead of beef broth? Duck broth. Or you're asking the magi. Okay, this is like sizzling. Let's come closer, guys. So far away. Okay, I'm gonna grab a spoon. Sounds familiar. You're also living life. Before I was like surviving and not like super thriving, I could say we're probably thriving again. We're surviving and thriving. We made it through the hardest parts of winter. Get the mushies all coated. Oh lord, we sacrificed one to the underneath the burner gods. By the end of stream, we'll have a dried mushroom under there. Let's add some seasoning. Some salt and pepper as they're cooking. You could also do onions with the mushrooms during this time, but Samo's not an onion guy. Pinch of salt. I'm gonna fill this container over here with water for our rice. For whenever we decide to cook that. Look at all the water coming out of the mushrooms already. And then I'm gonna find a pot for the cabbage. Something with a lid will be the best. Yeah, it is actually quite earthy smelling. You are not wrong in saying that. Mushrooms with butter, though, that's such a good smell. Turn on the fan. I can't get enough of the water today, guys. Okay, so we're gonna wait for most of that moisture to cook out before we add the garlic. Could take a few moments. Just gonna downsize my rice container while we're waiting. One container gone. But wait, there's a whole other one. But now I have a container to put something else in, so that's always good. That's where I keep my rice. You put anything in with the mushrooms or let them sear in their own moisture. For the start of the sauce, I usually just cook them with the fat. This is looking pretty good for us to be able to add the garlic. Because we don't want the garlic to burn. So let that cook a little bit with the moisture. And then let it start to crisp up a bit. Once you add the garlic, the smell is insane. And then this is also usually where I'll add the herbs, whether it's dried or fresh. Right? The smells. Holy. It's seriously good. But yeah, I love thyme and mushrooms the most, I think. So I'm just rubbing some dried thyme in between my fingers to flavor this sauce with. This pineapple up there so it can ripen. And I always spread it back out into one even layer. Sauteed mushrooms and onion stuffed meatloaf. Deadly. Home style food. True, right? Yeah. Mushrooms are one of the ingredients you can't really overcook unless you're doing it on purpose. But yeah, you can make mushrooms really gross. I would say they're the least appetizing when there's like no seasoning on them, right? Like I understand why most kids don't like mushrooms because they put raw white mushrooms in vegetable trays and stuff, and that's what we are introduced to. Mushrooms are so much better than that. And like foraged ones are even better than the cultivated ones we get in the store. Ask your work canteen on how to make them disgusting. What did they do? Raw mushrooms on salad is weird. Yeah, like the spinach salad that always has the raw sliced mushrooms on it. Never been my first choice, that's for sure. Just sauteing this until the garlic smells a bit more roasty, and then we can add our liquids. And then by that time, the oven should be hot enough, and we can focus on the rice and the cabbage. Worse there is the chanterelles when they're soggy. Oh, yeah. Yeah, foraged mushrooms when they're past their prime, not good. Hello, DeBear fan. How are you doing today? Okay, that's smelling good. I think it's time. Time for some duck stock. You know it's good when it's gelatinous. Like that. Stir, stir, stir. Scrape the bottom of the pot to get all the brown bitties off. I usually stir until I don't feel anything sticking or hitting my spoon. On the bottom of the pot. How much duck stock do we have still? I'll probably put a little bit more because this will reduce a touch. And then remember, we have our cornstarch slurry already good to go to thicken at the end. And cornstarch is really nice, I find, with this style of sauce because it keeps it nice and translucent. Whereas whenever you use like a flour-based roux to thicken a sauce, it makes it very creamy looking. We're adding flavor to flavor, it's true. So we'll let that marry up together. Just on this other burner in the back. Let it simmer for a few minutes, and then we'll give it a taste and see what we think. I know in the recipe, she adds a little bit of whipping cream at the end to the mushroom sauce. That's up to you. I typically just make it a nice brown sauce. Do we still do the renovation work business? No. No, and actually my dad has sold that business, and he just runs like a cabinet shop now. But I am like so grateful that we did that work with my dad because now we know how to like build and fix a lot of things. Okay, more butter. More butter for the cabbage. And wait, I already sliced it. That. And I was gonna do a touch of olive oil too. It is smelling good in here, guys. So once that's all melted, we'll pour the cabbage in. And then I think we'll turn the rice on too. We get all of the things. We'll go a little bit different angle. Ta-da! Okay, it's bubbling. The butter's a little bit browned. Gently. Ah! Cabbage went in the rice pot. Gently scoop all the cabbage and it'll like fill up the whole pot. It's so insane. Let's grab another spoon. Because we want to get all the cabbage coated with the fat. And I will add some seasoning at this point too to the cabbage, because the salt will help draw out that excess moisture from it. The cabinets did look sturdy. Hope the business is going good. Yeah, it's not his business. He's just, like, runs the shop for the business now. But he really likes it. A southern sausage biscuit for breakfast, Mary? Yum. I know, I'm hungry. I'm ready. My yogurt parfait bowl is long gone. Okay, let's go like that to start. And do some pepper too. Stir that goodness in. And I'm still just cooking this on medium heat. Not too high, not too low. And then from here, I'll probably just pop the lid on there. And then give it a stir like every couple minutes until it's starting to cook down, and then we can add our broth and let that cook the rest of the way out. Thanks, Judo. Yeah, have a good rest, and thank you so much for popping by today. We've missed ya. While we're waiting, let's give our mushroom sauce a stir. I'm probably gonna give it a taste now. Just the broth is what I'm gonna taste for seasoning. Honestly, like, add the Maggi. That. And the rest of the flavor is so good, you guys. What the heck? This will add like a bit of salt and kind of umami flavor. And then we just thicken this. I think that's perfect. That's so funny you say that, Ninja Man, about the stove, because yesterday I was cleaning the stove top, and Sam's like, I bet you missed the glass stove top. And I was like, I totally do. It's just so much easier to clean the glass stove top than this one. And then, yeah, going from gas to electric is even way more different. I'm gonna turn this up a bit, the cabbage. Go to a medium-high heat. So I like when it gets a little bit of like brown color on the cabbage too, as it braises. So I just turned the mushroom sauce off, you guys, because I'm happy with the flavor of it. I don't want to reduce it more as we're finishing the meal, and then it gets too salty, right? So we have our slurry ready to go here to thicken it. We just want to be sure that this is simmering when we do add that later. Bonk, I love how you're just like giving me shit the whole time. Okay. Let's do the rice. Let's pop our rice pot on. We'll give it a little toasting before we add the water. And then we can just focus on the schnitzel and the cabbage. I'll wake up Samo in a bit too from his nappa. You haven't ever had an electric stove, Mary. So you've only ever had gas or like propane, I guess? Out of all the different stovetops I've cooked on over the years, I think my first choice is still gas, just because it's so quick and you can really like see how much you're controlling the temperature, like as you turn the dial, right? You can see the flame. And then my second choice would definitely be a glass electric stovetop. I don't think it would be induction though. I don't know. I've really enjoyed using that glass electric stovetop. Compared to this coil one. Okay, so the oven just beeped, you guys. We'll get the rice cooking with the water and then we'll put the pork in. You can kind of see it hiding back there. Just gas and then propane for the camper, yep. Not a fan of electric. No, for sure not. Excuse me, not my first choice. Wilson, how's it going? Welcome, welcome in, sir. Induction was like good for heating and consistent temperature, but I really couldn't stand the magnets on it and all the beeping and stuff. It was very frustrating to use to me. Okay, we're getting that steam building up in here. Gotta cook this cabbage down. Gonna leave that lid off for a little bit to let that steam escape. You got a terrible sinus headache? I'm so sorry, dude. Get all the love and healing vibes through the internet. We've been struggling. I mean, a lot of people have been sick recently. I just kicked my head cold like 2 days ago. Just came out of the blue. I was feeling fine, and then I woke up one day and I was sick. I was like, well, that is weird. You know you're cooking the cabbage down when it starts to go more translucent. And then you also know that you're toasting the rice when it starts to go more white, not translucent. You guys see those toasted kernels in there? So I usually pour the water in when it looks like half of the rice kernels have been toasted. Wilson, do you have any ginger or lemon and honey? You have ginger, lemon, and honey, because that's what saved my life. And turmeric. I think turmeric is probably the most important. Alright, we're gonna pour the water into the rice. It should go pretty crazy with the sizzle when you pour it in. We need 1 more cup. You have the concoction? Perfect. Boom. Lid on the rice. Let's stir the cabbage. Okay, now that the cabbage is really sizzling, let's turn it down because braising is done at a lower heat. We're gonna pour in our little bit of duck stock in. We're not gonna cover the cabbage fully with stock, but this is gonna put a little bit of flavor in as it cooks. I think I put about a cup worth of that stock. And that's it, guys. I'm just gonna pop the lid on the side and let that slowly cook down. Now that we turned it down, we can probably leave the lid fully on without it wanting to explode off the top. The honey should be the best local honey you can find. That or buy Manuka honey from like a health food store is like the best for colds. Hi Blondie, how are you doing? Yeah, I always make a concoction. So you don't peel the ginger or the lemon or anything, just thinly slice fresh ginger and fresh lemon whole. Put that in a pot of boiling water with a good spoonful of turmeric. Let that cook all together until the ginger and the lemon is all softened up. And then I usually let that cool together before I strain it all out, and then just like sweeten it with honey to whatever you like. And that saved my life. Like I didn't even have to take any cold meds to get over my cold, which is such a rare thing for me. You want your honey as close to home as possible because it uses the pollen that you're already breathing in. So like if you have allergies, way less chance of that happening. Cool. Hi Daydreamer as well. So why do they say Manuka honey then? Probably for its like antibacterial properties. All right, guys. We're gonna put our schnitzel in. I'm gonna set a 10-minute timer. And it's in the middle oven rack, let's see. I'm gonna wake up the bear now because it's almost food time. Not familiar with the Manuka honey? Okay, let me look it up really quick then. Oh, and the other thing I did to get rid of my cold was pour like a long bath, right? Because you kind of want to like fake your body into having a fever so it gets that out of your system without waiting for your body to produce its own fever. That helps a lot too. Yeah, Manuka honey. It can help heal wounds. Interesting. Contains pollen from a tea tree. And like I use tea tree oil for like blemishes and like different skin imperfections, stuff like that. A product of a New Zealand scrub plant. Very cool. It has a higher concentration of methyl glyoxal. What does that even mean? Now we know though. Taught you guys something new again. Let's give this a stir. Holy, that's looking so good. I might even throw a bay leaf in there as it's cooking. Oh yeah, so that's the one thing I was gonna say, is like for a small little container of that Manuka honey is like 20 bucks. Leaf of bay. Because bay leaf is good with lots of braised things and pork. One of my favorite pork bellies is cured with bay leaf and citrus. So dang good. Okay, so 7 minutes before we check on the schnitzel. And I am waiting for this rice to come up so it doesn't cook all over my stove top. Wait, I missed this. Fried chicken is best. Hello, howdy, how are you? The legit stuff has the MGO rating on the label. But now we have to know what MGO is. So the MGO is the antibacterial properties of it. I'm just reading another thing, Bonk. That it contains hydrogen peroxide in the honey? Wait, hydrogen peroxide, a naturally occurring antibiotic found in all honey. I didn't know that, did you? Honey has hydrogen peroxide in it? But yeah, colds are from viruses, so the antibacterial part wouldn't really help that, right? It's more for infection. Is this rice gonna keep causing me problems? Probably. Be good. So what, if you have a sinus infection, then that's better? But yeah, it's more for like an open wound. Interesting. Mary says, silly question. Since I was told to rinse rice, can you still toast it or just don't rinse it? I honestly never rinse my rice. Unless it's like an Asian recipe that specifies to rinse it. I never rinse my jasmine rice. And I always just toast it first and then pour the water in. Right, like it could help you. So maybe we taught you guys something new. Can help you out today. I'm gonna have a taste of this cabbage because I'm intrigued. I'm gonna go right down to the bottom where it's brothy. Okay, I'm not gonna leave the lid on anymore because I want to reduce the liquid because the cabbage itself is tender. I don't love mushy cabbage. I don't know about you guys, but I like my veggies to have some texture to them. Let's just leave the lid off of that and we'll turn up the heat a touch to get it to reduce quicker. That's good though. Really good and buttery. Grabbing tongs for the schnitzel. And we're working on waking the bear up. He's coming back to life slowly. Oh yeah, because of the rice weevils that you can get. which I have had happen before, and it was the most disgusting thing ever. Terrifying. Yeah, freeze all your rice. The one thing that would happen though with the weevils is you have to keep the rice in the freezer then, because it said that their like eggs or whatever, their larvae will still come back even when you take it back out of the freezer. It's so weird. Keep that bay leaf covered. Flavor everything up. Okay, once we check the schnitzel, we'll finish the sauce, the mushroom sauce on this side. Bugs in rice aren't unusual. No, it's true, right? That's why you're often told to rinse your rice. I mean, bugs in anything that we eat is not weird. It's a natural thing. We need them around. I'm just making sure you're coming back and you'll be ready for lunch in a couple moments. You got like 10 minutes. Yeah, just pay no attention, enjoy the little boost of protein. We really have become quite picky, right? As a society to what should and should not be in our food. How was the trip to get Samo? It was good. It was actually a really good trip. I just realized my mic was like turned down the whole stream. Yeah, the weather was finally not freezing cold to go get him, and he got in at a pretty proper time. Not 11:57 p.m. 10 seconds on the timer. I think I actually need the trivet here, because we're gonna flip the schnitzel over at the cutting board. I know. I turned the mic down when I was beating my meat, and then I never turned it back up. Guys, I think it needs a lot longer. I'm gonna turn up this oven temp to like 430. Nothing's even happened. It looks like it's just getting warmed through. Insanity. That's okay though, a nice little slow roast to start. I'm okay if I wait on the schnitzel and everything else is done. So one thing we will redo though is let's pop another 10-minute timer on. Never. We'll never stop saying that, Bob. See how our rice is cooking? A little bit of liquid down there still. Yeah, does everyone get $1? Nice, that stayed warm under there. As soon as the rice is done, we'll switch the pots. Yeah, you tricked your own self. Surprise. Bob is gullible. Noted. I'm gonna turn the cabbage off, guys. I don't want it to go mushy on us. We can just leave it on that burner though. We leave that lid popped off a bit for now. The extra moisture come out. I was just finishing steaming the rice. Turning that one off too. And we'll just let that rice finish over here. I guess we didn't have to turn it off if we're gonna finish the sauce. Just keep that on medium heat, and we're just gonna wait for that to come to a simmer, and I'm gonna grab a little whisk so that we can whisk in our slurry. How was Chef Steve's stream yesterday? Was it crazy? Mish was there? You guys were causing a ruckus then, I'm sure. That is one thing that I know. Okay, so just cornstarch in here and some cold water. Enough that it is liquefied. And then as soon as this is simmering up, we're gonna pour that in there so it can thicken the sauce. Did I see his outfit? No, what is he doing? Not as crazy as his Thursday or his today? Nice! Out early, dressed up like Princess Peach. So hopefully he's still on when we finish the stream, and we'll go right into there because that sounds hilarious. Okay. Give this a stir maybe to get it heating evenly. So this is butter, mushrooms, garlic, thyme, salt and pepper, and duck broth, and a little bit of Maggi to season. You got a pick? Oh, perfect then. Okay, so that's simmering. Just slowly pour in as you stir. I find that's the best way to not get lumps in your sauce. And then I usually let that cook for a moment or two. Get the rest of this out of there. And I don't like to make my hunter sauce too thick. Just enough to coat the spoon and give the schnitzel a nice coating as well. I got our taster spoon here too still. That looks good though. That is so perfect. Turn it off. I'm just gonna take that actually off the heat, guys. I don't want to go on this other burner in the back because that's where the oven vents out of, and like it'll keep kind of cooking the sauce because it stays really hot. So we'll just do that. This is probably cooled enough now. The steam has cooked out mostly. We'll just get that covered while we wait. Now we're just waiting on the schnitzel. That is it. Yeah, mushroom sauce. We'll just switch to here. Chef Steve is done already? No. Thanks for those photos, Bob. That looks heckin' hilarious. I love his pink dress. You had a bison burger with a giant portobello cap last night? Like as the bun or just in the burger itself? He's a trooper? Yeah, he is. Okay, I'm gonna take a really quick bathroom break. Be about a minute. Don't go anywhere, and then we'll finish up the rest of the stream, okay? While we're waiting, might as well. BRB. I'm back. Oh, Wilson, you had your mushroom on top of the burger. Was it good altogether? I like that, Bunk. Steve had a moment of sympathy for women putting on the dress. That's nice of him. 1 minute, 10 secs? Professional. Got my timings down pat. It was good, Wilson. Excellent, even. Hi, Red Syrup. Okay, I'm gonna peek at the schnitzel now and see if... Oh, shit, that was 10 minutes already? Okay, we are legitimately peeking at the schnitzel. I think we can safely flip it over now. Let's come over. We're sizzling, finally. Okay, so that's how it's looking so far. You know that the butter's doing its job when it gets like foamy like that, right? So we're gonna gently flip these, but look at the bottom side already. These are really thick pieces of schnitzel, even after like all that pounding out we did. Back in the oven. Do I wear dresses? I actually love dresses, Mary. I just haven't been wearing them recently. I haven't been like buying clothes really at all. But I heckin' love dresses. Maybe this year I'll buy some. Okay, I'm gonna do a 5-minute check on that pork. And we shall see what the internal temp of it is at that time. If it's done, then I'm going to switch it to a broiler to get it crisp on the outside. If we're not happy with how brown it is. Yeah, Samo family style. So this is how Sam's mom would do schnitzel for them when he was young, is she actually bakes it in the oven just with butter, instead of taking the time to like deep fry it or shallow fry it on the stovetop, and it makes such a mess. The flavor from the butter is really yummy. I did find a recipe that did oven-baked schnitzel. So try it out next time. What meat is it? I used pork shoulder. So that's why it's like quite thick, right? Because pork shoulder just has like more tough meat fibers in it compared to something like just a pork loin. But we like the shoulder because it has the fat, which equals flavor, compared to when you just have the loin. It dries out really easily and it doesn't have as much flavor, right? At a family recipe. Okay, we need a ladle for our sauce. I'll grab that. I'll re-wake the bear back up again. Yes, yeah, I do appreciate a good pork chop, though. I'm not saying pork loin is bad. I just think for this instance, it's not the best choice. And that is like a personal preference. Now it's 5 minutes. We gave him the countdown, chat. Now it's 5 minutes. Okay, how are we gonna serve the cabbage? Probably with the slotted spoon we already have. That should be a-okay. We're good to go. I actually like when I have schnitzel. I guess we can say I like to eat it more like katsu, which is, let's say, what Asian culture is it, Bonk? Is it Japanese? Yeah? The Japanese version of a pork schnitzel. And they like slice it up when you eat it with the rice and stuff. I love to eat my schnitzel like that rather than like traditionally I find in Europe you're served like that big piece of schnitzel and you have to cut it yourself. I'm gonna grab a cutting board. To slice the schnitzel. Katsudon, which we just saw Taz, Minnesota Taz, make a couple of weeks ago on stream. 1 moment left before we check it again. I think I'll just check it in the oven with the thermometer. But yeah, the Japanese version, it is deep fried and made with just panko crumbs, not a mixture of any other breadcrumb. So if I wanted to make katsudon, I could make it completely gluten-free, which is pretty cool. Okay guys, schnitzel's cooked through. So we're gonna get the broiler on to get it nicely crisp and brown on the outside. Yeah, the katsu sauce. That one is pretty easy to make though. With ingredients you have at home, right? I think I've made katsu sauce before. If you don't want to buy it. Just gonna set up a fan because whenever we have the broiler going, it really heats up wherever the smoke detector lives. And I don't feel like causing that sort of noise today. Shouldn't take too long to brown that breadcrumb either. All the snow's almost melted off the balcony again. Winning. Smelling buttery. You really don't want to go anywhere when you have food under the broiler. Usually I'll like swivel the pan around too. Couple more moments, and we might flip it over and do the other side. So nice outside, there's no wind even today. Mirror on that side still. Ketchup, soy sauce, mirin, little bit of toasted sesame oil, and MSG. So easy. You call it Japanese barbecue sauce. And then the other like kind of Asian barbecue sauce I really like is Korean barbecue sauce. Have you ever had that? So many good sauces. Oh yeah, the oyster sauce. What is MSG? Monosodium glutamate. It is a naturally occurring sodium from, I forget what plant it comes from, bonk. But yeah, it's a naturally occurring sodium in quite a few foods. But it's used as a flavor enhancer. A lot of the time. By the way, that's how they look coming out from under the broiler. I'm just peeking. Yeah, we'll do the other side as well. Might as well. Why the heck not? Then we're eating. Tenderize the meat with MSG, you're saying? No. MSG doesn't really tenderize. At least I don't know that part of it. The MSG comes from mushrooms? Maybe. That would make sense. Yeah, so the MSG, it's used a lot in like Asian foods. Like most people will say like, oh, I can't eat Chinese food because there's always so much MSG in it. As long as you use it sparingly, I find it doesn't affect your system, right? This goes with anything in life. Use in moderation. But there could be some times where someone accidentally puts in too much MSG and it could upset your system, I would say. But we did this like test when we first got MSG for the restaurant. I forget what we even got it for. It was something specific though. And like the kids that we worked with, they didn't know what the heck that was, right? So we did a test with them, just something simple like bacon. Okay, taste this bacon without MSG on it. Obviously tastes like bacon. But taste the bacon with the MSG on it. And it's just like, it tastes like a bacon that's been like 10 times flavored. I don't know how else to describe it. Extreme, yeah, it was so nuts. It's like when you taste something and you're like, yeah, that's good, and then you sprinkle the MSG on, taste it again, and your eyes just like go wide. That's like kind of what it does. Okay, this is what we ended up with. I think that's pretty good. I think this other side kind of got better. Hard to tell. I mean, fried pork is fried pork. It's gonna be good regardless. So I'll put one of those chunks on the cutting board. We'll go with the most picturesque one. And we'll give Sambo this really... I want to give him that one or these other two smaller ones. Okay, we'll let that rest while we load up the plate with everything else. Yeah, the hardest flavor to describe is umami, right? Hello, Callie by Design. What's my favorite thing to cook? My favorite thing to cook. That is seriously such a hard question for me to always answer. Because I feel like I like different things at different times of the year. Maybe pasta? Could make homemade pastas? Samuel, are you ready? You coming back to life? Your lunchie is ready that you requested? Do we need more light for plating? Look at our fluffy rice. We're just going simple with the rice, right? Because we got mushroom sauce to eat with everything. If you wanted, I think the only thing I would do is like put a nub of butter on the rice or something. But there's also some yummy like broth from the cabbage that we braised, so I'm really not worried about this rice being boring. Our butter braised cabbage. I love butter with rice so much. It smells like something my grandma would totally make. MSG was first extracted by a Japanese biochemist from kombu, which I have kombu. It's dried seaweed. I usually pop it in my broths. So seaweed has MSG in it, then we can say. You just ate marmalade on toast for breakfast? There's nothing wrong with that. I think I can just use my chef's knife for it. It'll be big enough. What is that on there? Salt? Looked like metal. Crispy. Pretty juicy, I would say. It's definitely not gonna be dry when you eat it, right? All the juices are still in there, and that's why I like to use pork shoulder. Because if this was loin, like, you just wouldn't have that juice still chilling in there, because it doesn't have that connective tissue. This other one, Samo's too. But I'm gonna try and cut it. I think this is against the grain. Let me see. Kind of have to angle it as I slice. So you don't want it to be chewy. Yeah, look at that one. The dark meat versus the light meat on the same cut. What? I just made Samo the biggest plate of schnitzel. It looks amazing. I hope you have a wonderful day too, Callie. Okay. Insane. I need to eat this piece. They're hot. Okay, so I wanted to try it for seasoning, right? To see if we need any more salt. But I think with us pouring the sauce on, should be a-okay. I love the chewiness of the pork shoulder when you make the schnitzel from it. And I'm not really like a chewy meat liking person, but there's something about the contrast of like the crunchy breading and then the chewy meat. Yeah, we need them here, don't we, for this saucing? Now it's for real the time because you requested this meal, so you have to. He's coming. Okay, let me get my camera ready for the photo right after I pour the sauce. And then we can finally taste it. This sauce though, you guys. I'm just gonna go kind of over everything. I don't want to go completely over the schnitzel because it'll make it soggy, right? Let's come closer for this saucing. Yeah, Amp knew. You said that as I said it.
The saucing.
The great saucing. Let that schnitzel peek out a bit still. We did it, guys. I think I'm just gonna do a little bit of Maldon salt over the schnitz. And then we're good. Because whenever you like fry and or bread stuff, you always need that bit of extra seasoning after it's done, right? And we like to use the flake salt because its shape makes nothing too salty and it melts really quickly in your mouth. Thank you for the fork and the knife. That is interesting, Bong. MSG has 1/3 the sodium content of standard salt. Is this standard salt as in like table iodized salt probably? Yaddy, you wanna come on this side? Otherwise I'll be elbowing you. So far, good couple bites?
Yep.
Just the sodium chloride. Interesting. Okay, what bite do I want here? A porky bite with some sauce first. Hello? I like how I'm always hiding back here. Dun, 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 dun. Open up, chat. I'm gonna burn my mouth. Mmm. Mmm. That bite of pork was so tender. What the heck? I love the Maggi taste in the mushroom sauce. That's the umami that we're talking about right now. Okay, now I got a cabbage bite on there too. A bite of everything minus rice. Mm-hmm. Is that what you were thinking? Really good, guys. Tastes like grandma's cooking. Okay, now I'm going rice, mushroom, cabbage. Y'all don't know why I was giggling. And you will never know. He's running away. Where is he going? And now, Bonk needs to figure out what to eat. What's it gonna be? Like, I literally never knew you could eat pork shoulder as a steak until I met Sam. It is so good though. Everyone thinks you have to cook it for like 5,000 hours for it to be good. Like, that's almost more tender than some pork chops I've had from a loin.
Yep.
That's saying something. I'm glad I put the bay leaf in the cabbage, like halfway through. You can actually taste it. You know when food's just not fancy, but it's so nourishing feeling when you eat it? Yeah, that's this plate. Very, very fair, Bob. Yeah, I did not grow up knowing that. It's something we learn. Sammy knows the secret of enjoying the cuts of dark meat. He knows his meats, I will tell you. He's the meat man. Okay. Yeah, not even that much dishes. Couple pots, couple sheet pans, couple bowls from the breading station. Was he a butcher? No. But we can say it's in his genes because his mom was a butcher in Germany. Was she a butcher while your dad was there still, or that was early on? Yeah. So she might have even been a butcher Sam was there. Very cool. Bob. He did it, Bonk. He did it. Thank you very much, Bob. You get a balloon for that. A $1 donation. I think for that, you get a golden balloon. It feels right. Your wife's family were all butchers, the men? A Lannister always pays their debts. I'm dead. The golden ones are the hardest to blow up. Yeah, Sam was exposed to butcher culture early. And I think in Germany, the butcher culture is pretty big there. I don't know. I've never been. It's Jiggly Frugal. Thank you for the sub. Wait, Greek gifted a sub to Jiggly Frugal. Let me finish Bob's balloon. Greek, you get a balloony too. You just needed to hear the chicken wing song one more time before we finish. Don't worry, we'll be back tomorrow. Greek, should I do green? Green for Greek? What is that one? Look how much bigger that one went. It's like the golden color like doesn't let the balloon blow up as much, I find. Dun 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 dun. Okay, so we'll be back tomorrow cooking up some brunch. We're doing eggs Benedict with a hash brown underneath. With some fresh fruits. It's supposed to be duck confit. This will be the quickest duck confit I've ever made. I might just pressure cook it. We'll see. It might just be a pulled duck. Eggs Benny. We'll see how it ends up. It was supposed to be made for our friend Thomas. But we dropped the ball on getting the duck, let's say.
I got the duck. I got your first week.
We should have had it yesterday there, sir. $4.19? Got a minute? Oh, that's the simultoke? I'm into that. Okay, I'm looking. Who are we rating? This could be fun. Although, we got Chaotic Good Mage on. We got the Dynamite Twins, though, in New York City, and it's raining, and that looks, I don't know, fun. I just like New York City, I think. Okay, is there anyone else on? Do you guys want to see this? People that I competed with or against at TwitchCon in San Diego, they're making Dippin' Dots ice cream with liquid nitrogen right now. I think we're gonna go raid them. Evan and Caitlin is what they are. Tomorrow, Kate, I'll be here. I will be here at 11 a.m. Pacific, and we're cooking brunch. And that's how Dippin' Dots are made. It's true. Making sure I spelled the Caitlin right, because I know there's so many different ways. Annie, you sneaker. Okay, it says follower or sub-only chat. Do we want to continue through? Because most of you won't make it through, probably. I think it's going to be a fun stream to watch, though, so maybe go give them a follow real quick first. let me do that to it just in case I didn't. It looks like so professional. Okay, guys. Thank you so much for all of the love today. This was such a yummy home-style meal. And like, probably some of the most simple like German food that you can make. Start with schnitzel, go from there, right? Okay. Annie, I hope you have a good day. I'm sorry that we're leaving already, but I hope to see you tomorrow. And I hope all the robotic stuff is going good. Other than that, friends, thank you for being here with us today. Samo, I hope you enjoyed your meal redemption.
It was real good.
He's dying. He's dying on the couch. Bob, you have a green olives shirt? Jealous. Okay. See you tomorrow. Love you. Stay safe. You know where to find me if you need anything. I'll be around on Discord. Bye.